All right, folks. So we're back with the second part of the interview. I do apologize, but with electronics, they do fail, and and I'm so sorry for it. But I have Portia back on the line because we do want to finish up the interview. I was so enjoying talking with her, so we're going to finish up the interview, and because I know she has things to do, and I know you have things to do. So we'll get back to the interview and get it finished up. So we'll let you go. All right. So Portia, we were talking about. I forgot what we were talking about.
I think. Oh, I don't really remember.
Well, I know it had something to do with.
I know something
I,
about.
I think it was the reviews about them saying that Lauren was weak.
We pretty much just, both said that when you love someone,
yes,
unless they're abusing you and something.
Yes.
Let's make that disclaimer.
Right off the top. Yeah, let's do that.
I'm not advocating things
No.
through hitting or punching.
None of that. No.
But things happen when you listen to the vows. The old school vows.
Mm-hmm.
Sickness and health do you part. When you love someone, you stick out through a lot of things, and you just don't walk away at the first sign of trouble. And I think she wanted to make her marriage work. She wanted her family to work. So
right.
I think there's a strength in that.
And it is, because as you said, there wasn't any abuse going on in that relationship. It was just a lot of unknown things, and things that I don't even know if Cal was aware that he had this disorder. But then there were certain parts of the book, maybe not the first book, but the second and third book, that sort of led me to believe that Cal knew he was like winking out, and that these,
So Cal always knew that he knew that they had this disorder. Chris didn't know
at all.
Cal knew, and that's the reason why he because Cal did work. It wasn't that he made up a job.
Yeah.
Like he did use that job because Cal could tell when Chris was going to come back, and he couldn't have Chris appear before he told Lauren because Cal was never going to tell.
No.
In his mind, and that's why he ended up leaving.
Yeah.
Lauren
Yeah.
In order, he didn't want to share her. That
No.
was like one good thing he had. So.
Yeah. But I know we were talking about how she was identifying with them as being three separate people, but when they went to when he went to see that doctor, and I think she helped them to to see it as these are not three different people but one person, with these different personalities. So, but I mean, in truth, Cal did share her. It may have been his body, but he still shared her with with his two alter egos, his other two personalities. But I just loved how you were able to just to bring all these characters together, to give them all different personalities. To make them seem like totally different people. To me, when Chris popped in, that was Chris, and and I identified him as being the sweet one, and then when Colin popped in, I identified Colin as being, the more reserved, but I think he was reserved and more laid back, but still, he had this air about him to where, I know everything, whether he did or didn't. So.
Yeah, it was important. They had to be distinctive because if they all sounded the same, then it wouldn't it'll be like, oh, well, he acts the same all the time.
Right.
So there has to be these vastly different personalities in order, when you're reading, to say, wow, she's really going through some things because these are like three different men.
Right. And it was, but the thing that amazed me the most is, do you have a degree in psychology or anything dealing with that field of medicine?
I took a couple of classes in college.
Wow.
But no, I'm not certified in anything. I'm not a licensed clinical social worker.
Wow.
It was just research and being interested and the disorder, and that was pretty much all.
Wow. Well, girl, let me just tell you, you did that and more, because I was like, okay, she has to have a background in this field to break this down like you did, and I mean, you were just so spot on with every detail. I was like, wow. So you're welcome. I had to ask you that question. I was like, okay, either she knows someone who has a disorder or she works in this field, because I mean, if I were to to look up the disorder, in which I did look it up because I wanted to make sure that I knew what I was talking about before I spoke with you on the show today. And I mean, you were so spot on, with the details and everything. So kudos to you for writing a tremendously good story, well written, researched very well. The character development, just awesome. To me, this book it should be on everyone's to read list, because it's definitely still on mine. I never took it off. It's still in rotation. It may be at a lower part of the rotation scale, but it is still on rotation for me, because I definitely plan to read all these books again, because they left me with the feeling of, oh my gosh, this story can't be over. It needs more, So I wanted to ask you if you ever thought about, I know you said that there are 8 books in all, but if you thought about maybe going back, maybe a few years later, after their relationship, or after their daughter, is, because I think she was pregnant again in the last book, because I wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. Yeah. Twins.
Yeah, with twins. Yeah, in the last book. So, if you ever thought about revisiting the story, after they've been married for a while.
I never say that the story's over, because when you're a writer, sometimes you can feel like it's done, and then you may wake up one day and have all this inspiration, right for it. So I guess I don't have an official date or plan.
Okay.
To put out a book for them, but that they are characters, that are close to my heart, and the story comes for them. I'll definitely, because I didn't plan on writing If I Break 4. And then, that came to me, and so I won't say it's impossible.
Okay.
It's not kind of on the list as of now.
Okay.
But I am working on House's story, and hopefully, I'm really hoping to have that out before the end of next month. But time's going a lot faster than I thought.
Yeah.
But so I plan to feature them kind of in other stories.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see, because I do think it's such an interesting. There's a lot of material there to work with.
It is. It really is. I mean, that is a story. Because of the different levels and the different personalities that's involved. This is a story that could go on, indefinitely if you wanted to write about it. So, when you were telling me about your next project that you're working on, we got a little interference. So, if you don't mind repeating that again, because I want to know what it was you said, and the audience may want to know that as well. If you'll just repeat that.
Oh yeah. So I'm working on Cal/Chris Collins' sister story.
Oh.
In the end of, I forgot which book it is, but we learned that he had brothers and sisters when the traumatic event happened.
Yes.
So there were others that it affected. It just wasn't, Cal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm halfway done with that,
okay.
and we'll see how the writing works
out. Okay.
In the upcoming month, but so far she's pretty interesting.
Okay.
And she has her own thing going on, and then she's looking for her brother. She's looking for her family, because the parents, obviously her mother's not alive anymore.
Right.
The dad is about to go to jail.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Who her biological dad is, so there's a lot there. So I'm trying to figure out if it will be a novella, or if it's enough material there to become its own series, because they're, it's like a whole new story.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I just don't ever want to start writing that story, and then sometimes you have to know when to cut something off. And
right.
drawing it out and making it crap.
Right. But you know, but
ever do that if I break. Like, it changed my life,
yeah.
Just to have, I feel extremely blessed that
Yeah.
it's been read by so many people.
Oh, yes.
There's millions of books out here that people can read, and they chose my story. Even though if I break, first book's free, I'll put that out there again. The first book is free.
Okay.
But, there's so many free books that, people can pick up, and they choose mine. And then once the free book's up, they buy the ones after that. So
yeah.
And these characters changed life for me.
Well, I tell you, they are life-changing characters, and I'm glad that you have experienced the level of success that you have with these books, because I'm going to tell you, they are more than worth it. In everything that's coming your way, it is deserved, because you wrote a heck of a story. You really did. And to learn that you don't have a clinical background, that even speaks to your writing abilities even more. So I thank you so very much, Miss Portia, for taking the time out of your day to come on and talk about this very worthy series. And guys, if you haven't gotten this book yet, you need to first of all, get the first one. If I Break, she just told you it's free. Get that book. And make sure that you buy all the other ones in the series, because I'm telling you, once you start reading the first one, you will want to know what is going to take place in the next book and the next one after that as well. So, Portia, if you will, just tell the audience where they can find your work and how they can stay in contact with you, if you'll do that for me, please.
Okay, If I Break, it's available on all platforms, so Amazon, iBooks, Barnes & Noble, whatever your favorite or preferred reading platform. Mm-hmm. You can find it there. It is free. You can follow me on Instagram at Portia Moore Writes, but I'm a lot more active on Facebook, and Portia is spelled Portia, last name Moore. There's also a If I Break audiobook. It's on Audible if you have free credits. If you want to listen while you're at work, you can listen to the audiobook. And If I Break was the Audible series was purchased by an audio publisher. Oh my gosh!
Just take your time.
Audio publisher. So hopefully the year, beginning of next year, the entire series will be available on Audible.
Yay! Yeah, because I have to tell you, the very first book I read was Audible, because that's how I read. I listen to books while I work, because I don't have time to actually pick up a physical book and read it. And if I do start reading one, it takes me months to finish it, because it's like 5 minutes here or 10 minutes there. So, but if I'm working, I can actually listen to a full story. So I cannot wait for those other books to reach Audible. I cannot wait.
The narrators are amazing.
They are.
They're really good. They chose, I've heard them, and they secured them. And so I'm excited because when you listen to, even though I wrote it, listening to it, it's totally different, because you hear these characters.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
It's cool to hear.
It is just hearing them come to life, and I think that's what makes the story that much more powerful, because you get to hear all of the emotions. Now, I read the other books, and I felt the exact same way I did when I listened to the first book. That was already established in the first book for me. The emotional side of it, and so it just tied me to the other books when I read them. But I would love to be able to listen to those books as well in the audio version. So thank you so much again for coming on the show today. I wish you all the success in the world. I cannot wait for these books to hit the audio version, and I can't wait for your next series of books. If the next one becomes a series, or if it's a novella, that's fine too. I can't wait for it because I do love your work, and and everybody out there that's listening, you're in for a treat when you get these books. So make sure that you go out there and get her books and read them, because they are just wonderful, just absolutely wonderful. And I like the cover too of all the books. But I think that first one, it sort of gave me a look-see at Lauren, so I could identify with her. So I like that. You did a very good job of describing her, and also I could look at the cover and say, okay, that's Lauren. So I felt like I knew her in a small way. But anyway, again, thank you so much, and for being a sport, because a good sport, because I lost you in the first part of this interview, but I was able to bring you back and for us to conclude it. And I thank you so much for being willing to do that for me. I appreciate it so much, and I know I kept you over the time that that you had allotted to me to do the interview, but I appreciate it so very much. I appreciate you, and from time to time, just we stay in touch on through Facebook. That way, I'll know what you're doing when your next project comes out, because I definitely want to read it. But in the meanwhile, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And folks, I just want to tell you that Portia was not feeling well today, but she still agreed to do the interview. So I thank you so much for doing that too, even though you weren't at your best. But I couldn't tell that you were sick, because you gave a wonderful interview anyway. Much success, and God bless you, and goodbye.
And thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, folks. So there you have it, the second part of this interview. This is the first time I've ever had a two-parter. But I guess, there's a first time for everything. And at the beginning of the interview, I didn't get to introduce. Everybody knows that this is Book Chat. So, I want to be professional about it. So, if I didn't welcome you to Book Chat, let me do that now before I sign off. Welcome to Book Chat. Of course, I am your host, Author Vivian Moore. And also, I want to stay in contact with you. So, I want to give you out some URLs right fast, so that way you can keep up with the show. If you listen to the first part, make sure you go to the second part of this interview, because I want you to know how it ends, and it ended well, I must say. But anyway, here's the first URL. Of course, it's to my Spreaker account, which is https://www.spreaker.com/user/author Vivian Moore. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And also you can check out my website, which is https://vivianmoore.wixsite.com, Author Vivian Moore, and also the blog. There will not be a blog this week. But anyway, you can check out the other ones that are already out there, which is https://vivianmoore.blogspot.com. Once again, I thank you. I hope everybody had a great Easter Resurrection Sunday last week. We didn't do a show because of the holiday, and I missed you, though, just the same. But I hope you had a good week then, and I hope you're having a good week today. I hope that you're planning on going to Sunday service tomorrow. It's not Easter, but it is Sunday. And take some family members, take some friends, take some loved ones, take some children with you by all means, and tell someone that you love them, because tomorrow is not promised. Today may be the only chance you get to say it. So I love you. I hope you love me back. Until the next time you hear my voice, God bless you, and goodbye.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for joining us.
If you enjoyed today's show, please head over to iTunes, give us a rating, and leave a review.
Download episodes of previous shows